And we are performance psychology specialists specialising in musicians and in the performance industries. But we also work with people who are wanting to perform better within their own lives. Today we are going to talk about why do
you sing? It's a question. We're hoping that you might engage with us a little bit and comment below and let us know why you sing. Yeah. But maybe you want to hear what we've got to say first.
Maybe they'll let us know why they don't sing.
Okay,
that
that's
might be
also
another whole different thing.
A whole different question, but also very welcome to be answered below. Thank you for joining us.
And indeed, so if you are joining us, please do let us know. Give us a like or say hello so that we know that you're there. And do also let us know why you do sing, because we'd love to know. So what are the reasons that people sing?
Yeah, there can be so many different reasons, and we talk about it on a daily basis. So we're going to try and be succinct, but we can't promise it. You know us well enough by now, surely.
It's true.
So it may be that you sing because you really enjoy being seen and or heard. So you may like to get up on stage in front of people. You may get a lot of positive feedback and chips to be gained and re-resourcing to happen from applause and some critique, or positive critique usually, but critique,
nice feedback.
Yeah,
usually.
Feedback
nice,
on your
absolutely.
performance. So that may be why you choose to get up in front of people.
Now, if you don't know what we're talking about with chips, it's in another one of our
it's really near the start.
It's really
basically
near the start.
If you get a sort of good feeling from getting applause, is what I mean by that. Okay.
I'm distracted by this because I'm feeling obviously a little bit like I want it to be perfect today. So one of the things, do talk past yourself just a tiny bit.
Oh dear.
I know that Gareth's watching today and he's going to be wondering what on earth that is that's not quite down here. So yes, so we have, so one of the reasons that we might want to sing is to perform in front of people, is to be seen. And one of the reasons, as Ali said, is to be heard. And they don't always run together. So
I like to be heard more than seen.
I think it depends which part of me that we're engaging with. So when I'm being a recording artist, when I'm writing music so that I can sing in the studio, I'm much more about going inside and sharing what my thoughts are, what my feelings are at that precise moment in time. It's like a little nugget, a little encapsulating time at that moment for me. When I'm doing maybe more theatrical stuff, I am happy to be seen, especially then in these situations when you're not particularly maybe being yourself. So you get to step out of yourself and be do things that you maybe as yourself wouldn't even dream of doing. So it's certainly one of the things that started all of this work that we did was thinking of when I was watching people singing their songs, why I would never imagine them saying or choosing that song or that style of song. What are they getting out of that? And I think there is something about being able to step right outside of who you are, making the boundary a tiny bit further over and playing with where you are, who you are, and who you're not, and enjoying that. So yeah.
And
hi Garth.
The opposite end of that would be wanting singing to go in. So rather than singing to step out of yourself to become something different, to get an experience away from your internal experience, which can be really useful, actually sometimes we sing to become more connected and get more insight, more connection with what's going on in our system, be it good, bad, or ugly, or really pretty. Whatever it is, sometimes for me, singing can be very useful in the therapeutic process and processing stuff. So if I find it quite hard to say what it is that's going on for me, a step towards being able to do that sometimes can be to sing. Even if it's just singing anything at all, it doesn't have to be actually related to what's going on inside. The actual physical experience of singing creates vibration, it frees stuff up in my system, it gives me a chance to get away from the external stimulus. So sometimes what's going on outside is too much for me to connect in the way you may see people close their eyes when they sing. It's not it's not a bad thing. Some people will say don't close your eyes when you're performing.
Depends on the style of music that you're in. There are some styles of music that probably would not like you to be closing your eyes and think you're being terribly self-indulgent.
And
however,
even then,
there's a place for it.
Yeah,
right?
even then, some styles of coaching will frown upon it in general. And actually, it is a way of connecting in rather than out, and actually sometimes that can be a very beautiful performance to watch when you're actually watching someone be totally in their own bubble. So there's no judgment here. We like eyes open and
eyes closed.
we're all
it depends on what music we're singing, and it depends on what the person in front of us is looking for.
And actually we tend to think, as long as you're doing it through choice rather than it's the only thing you can do. Yeah. That would be the only time I challenge someone is if they close their eyes because it's all they can do. Yeah. And then we would maybe talk about it.
Absolutely.
That's another talk.
I think it's really, what you're saying is really important. It's just like there are so many different reasons that we choose to sing. And that is one of the most important things when it comes to us teaching. Because first of all, we want to work out what we're doing. So if you want to be a recording artist, if you want to be in a covers band, if you may want to do both, that's absolutely fine with us. The most important thing is that if you are wanting to be particularly, for example, a musical theatre. Hello, welcome back. We thought we had managed to circumvent that problem. I do hope that we have, and that it was just a misunderstanding with our system. Anyway, here's part 2. This is the part that lets us know who really watches all the way to the end, right? So, one of the things about singing that I think we really established when we were thinking about the research and then the PhD is that actually the whole thing with voice and with singing is set up very, very early. So if you watch yourself or other people with babies, you will find them cooing, making voice sound and singing to and with them. And that is when it's set up. So we can go through all sorts of difficult times when we, thank you for rejoining us, when we have had troubles within the very, very early parts of our lives. So actually we can find ourselves in all sorts of complications, and we worked very much with somebody at the very, very end who was one of our examiners who that was their field of research. So that was extremely interesting. We're not going to go into it all today. It sounds like a completely different thing, but it is part of why some people really get involved in singing in the first place. That's one idea. Another thing that comes to my mind is about even before time began, we used to sit around a fireplace, we used to sing together. It was a community thing to do in churches. It was a community thing to do, raising all of our voices together. And there's a lot of research out there about well-being and singing in groups and communicating and bringing people together to make a joined up vibration of sound, and actually to have that unity and be all together as one can feel incredibly bonding. It's incredibly good for our systems in lots and lots and lots of different ways.
Sure, you'll hear, you may well see many more programs coming on the TV about choirs, singing in choirs, and so many choirs popping up all around the country. Yes, we're very happy about that. I certainly am. I'm really passionate about singing in groups and choir experiences, and anything that is more than one person singing is a totally different experience because you're creating something together, and there is something extremely powerful. And I say that with a smile on my face because I see Ailey's here, and Ailey knows I used to sing with Ailey in a choir. Hi. There's something extremely powerful about creating a vibration on your own, but then when you make that with 1, 4, 300 other people, it does have an impact on us on a cellular basis. There's also research out there to talk about vibration and the effect it has on our system, sound healing, all of that different sort of stuff. We're not going to go into that today. And you don't have to believe everything, and you don't have to believe every word we say and what we believe, but there are loads of different research papers out there that you can check out for yourself if you do so wish.
Whenever I feel afraid, I whistle happy. All that kind of stuff is what comes to my mind right now. Where is she going?
I don't know
what just happened to today. But there's something about when I catch myself singing is when I'm a little frightened inside and I self-soothe with it. So I think a lot of singer-songwriters will probably have had that experience where they're sitting in a room, singing away, listening to other people who they connect with, because what they say, what they're singing, they connect with. And they're sort of singing and saying what it is that they want to be hearing in for themselves. So then you begin to sing that back out and into the world again. So part of my system can be really soothed by singing, especially if, sort of whistling.
And singing does actually release certain endorphins in the system as well. So as well as it being a very full system physical experience, so you're actually, it's like we call it a workout. It is kind of a workout. You're using loads of different muscle groups. You do get endorphins from exercise. You get endorphins from singing. So you can feel elated, exhausted, both at the same time. So many different things from singing. You may wonder why we think this is an important thing to talk about today. So as singers and people who work with singers, you don't have to be one or the other or only sing for one reason. You may take a recording artist, for instance. There's a real process of going through writing, introverted, getting your ideas out, recording, letting someone else hear them, being quite vulnerable, maybe still quite introverted, maybe more extrovert, and then taking that to a place where you're letting them be heard without it actually physically coming out of your body, and then also then getting to a point, hopefully maybe, where you are performing in front of people. All of these aspects and steps need a different set of skills and a different set of resources put in place, and some people will thrive more freely in one aspect and may need some extra support in other aspects.
And that's why we did the holistic approach and put together this multi-disciplinary, multi-faceted approach to singing and voice work that we call the Singer Psyche. You'll be able to see the research online under the same name.
Yes.
And that's what all of this is based on. But actually, it really does give us a whole, as Ali said, each different stage of development needs something different. And just a one size fits all, or I'm a singer, or I'm an artist, it will show up different kinds of things. Each person is completely unique, which is why it has to be such a big approach and why it has to be so bespoke to each and individual person. One thing I did want to say was that very thing that brings us all together in unity. There's a lot of stuff about well-being. What I set out to do with the PhD was to say, well, what are the disasters? Why are things so difficult for some vocalists, some singers sometimes? And we know that it can be healing and all that, but can it be destructive as well? And I think that the two main things that came up, please let me remember them one at a time. The first one was that actually there's a lot of emotion held round the throat and around this area, because it's one of the last places, apart from between your teeth, one of the last places that actually the sound can be stopped, the emotions can be stopped before it comes out of your mouth. So actually we can set up a split between our true vocal experience and what we want to sing and say and what we actually sing and say. And in that tension we can have vocal difficulties and problems. And the second thing is that actually it's all great and well singing around that campfire, that's fantastic, and us all being united and quiet, rather than maybe everybody's not maybe as much of a hippie as us. But what happens when you go to the front of the stage and you put yourself out there? Here I am here, look at me, see me, hear me. It can be terrifying. It's the opposite than that very natural thing for us all to sing and do our washing or whatever it was in these very olden times. So for some people in our actual systems we can set up real survival autonomic nervous system difficulties, because it can be such a stretch to be out there and doing this kind of stuff. So it is fun, it has lots of benefits, and the antithesis, the other side of that, is it can be incredibly difficult to stay out front all the time, or to let yourself be heard and seen at the same time, or to hold what you're really thinking when you're singing something completely different, or in some modalities like musical theatre, being somebody completely different. Yeah.
So if you have watched this video, which you are most welcome to, and thank you if you have, and you have had a thought about what kind of singer you are, why you like to sing, or what you find difficult, please do comment, and please do let us know and ask us questions. We are thinking all about voice right now.
We are.
Okay. We're all over thinking about voice, because we are running a voice intensive at the start of August.
It's true.
And we are really excited and already planning it, so we'll probably be talking about
Voice.
all things voice
Quite a lot.
for the next wee while.
Yes.
If you would like to know more about that, please also drop us a wee comment below, and we're happy to send information. But the big thing that we're excited to share with you is our free resource, which is called
Protect Your Voice.
Thank you. Protect Your Voice. It's a free download which will give you lots of information on how to care, look after your voice all the time, not just if it's poorly. So it's good vocal health, and also information about ways that you can take good care of your voice if it is under pressure a little bit. So if you would like to receive that, please do leave us a little comment and we will get back to you.
So if you want information on the voice intensive, leave a message below. If you want your free Protect Your Voice download, please let us know below. And how do you use your voice? Let us know. But we message below. We'd love to hear how it is that you use yourself in your singing. And as it's a voice intensive, you may find that it's actually more your spoken voice. I'm sure we'll do something around that at another time. But yeah, we are excited about the voice intensive, and we'd love to hear something about it from your perspective, most definitely. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope to see you here again next Thursday for our Facebook Live.
Yeah, take very good care.
Do join us on our YouTube channel.
Oh, so many things. All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.